today I posted my unboxing video of the Em1, and in it, well, if you've seen it, I was really disappointed that my battery grip didn't show up. 1 hour after I posted the video, guess what shows up? So let's open it here. Oh, this isn't really going to be an unboxing video. We're actually going to turn the camera on too. All right, let's move these guys out. Yeah, no battery yet. I bet that'll come tomorrow, because they are showing that all of it is shipped. So there it is. That's not new anymore. Okay, it's pretty light. All right, let's get it on here. So I actually did take the older HLD-9, I think it is, and I tried to see if it would line up with this guy. Everything actually does line up pretty good, except for this pinhole right here, which is a little bit different. And also, I noticed that the pinhole is kind of oval shaped, which is interesting. Not sure why that is. The pin does look heavier duty too. Let's see how it feels. One thing I have not liked about battery grips, and one thing I love about my E1X, is that the camera is just a solid camera. Okay, it's a very sturdy piece of equipment. There's no flexiness in it. Okay, that's pretty good actually. That's actually pretty stiff feeling. So yeah, you can see here I had the cable protector in when I was charging it up, which I think I'm going to try and make that a habit to do that. So here we go. Let's flip her out here and turn her on. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna pick English. What's the year? It's 2022, 3 military time here. So now we're gonna select the time zone. I wonder if I've screwed this up on a couple of my other cameras, because I've had other cameras that the time zone didn't quite line up. No, we're not in Moscow, London, Azores. We are in New York. There we go, New York time zone, which is UTC -5. Oh, here we are. Ooh, I like this. So these are colored and stuff. Boy, the new display is nice. It's very crisp. And what I'd like to know, and darn it, I don't have my E1X here. I want to see which one's brighter. That's something I've been curious about. So this is the super control panel. Boy, I like the new super control panel. So the super control panel is a touch interface. So one little thing that I noticed here right away. So this is the 12 to 40 millimeter f2.8, and the same thing goes for the f1.2 Pro lenses. With the Em1X, okay, if I put those lenses on here and sat this thing on the table, it would stay up, okay. The E1 Mk3, the E1 Mk2 with the battery grip wouldn't do that, which was kind of an annoyance. This guy does. The new battery grip does. I like that. Okay, nice little touch. So this time I got the Em1X doing the video, and we're going to take a look at the battery grips, the old one versus the new one. So this is the HLD-9 versus the HLD-10. First and foremost, okay, the new battery grip on the Em1 is plastic. It's completely plastic. Now, some people are going to have reservations about that. However, like, I don't know, I've been researching materials, and this is actually before this thing showed up, before I knew it was plastic. And a lot of people are saying that, like, really, plastics are kind of the way to go. They're more durable, they have a better impact recovery rate, and they're just so much lighter. So, yeah, it's not going to have that premium feel, but I don't know, I think it's the way to go, really. Also, the battery grip, it's not a sealed part of the camera, so if you were to hit this thing and smash it or something like that, it's not going to basically compromise the camera itself. And this is cheaper to replace. So, actually, let's take the battery grip out of this guy. So, yeah, right away, I can tell this guy's a little bit lighter, all right? Now, I've never liked the ergonomics of the old HLD-9. It just doesn't feel right at all, okay? I can actually squeeze it. Like, let's see this guy here. Okay, no, I'm not squeezing this one at all. That actually feels a lot more solid. So now let's put them back on. And actually, let's look at the tops of these. Okay, the pin arrangement is different. It looks like the tripod screws in the exact same spot. That's good. For many of you that have been following my channel for a while, I'm making a cooler that will strap to the back of a camera. That being in the same spot's a good thing. These guys, they're not at all close. They're actually in a pretty significantly different spot. These pins. This is like the alignment pin. All right, let's get it back on the camera. See, that right there's that squishy kind of feeling that you don't have with the Em1X. And I guess you'll never really get rid of that until you have a body that is all one piece of magnesium. So one thing I did notice when I was kind of playing with this last night, the new one does feel a little bit stiffer. It's just a little bit stiffer, and this is despite the fact that it's almost all plastic. And when I kind of look at it, like, there are actually spots where, like, I can see light coming through the old HLD-9 in between the camera and the body. Whereas this guy here, I mean, there's one little spot, but like on the outer edges, it looks like we've got a better seal, and there's more surface contact between the two of them. So, okay, let's do the blindfold test here. How do they feel? That's the old one. So this thumb hook right here, that's a lot better. Okay. Also, like, so like the old battery grip, this section right here, it feels very straight and uniform. It's not sculpted to the length of each finger, because, you know, your middle finger's the longest, and then of course obviously your pinky fingers are shorter and your index fingers are shorter. This guy here, there's different spots that are narrower and thinner. Also, there's like a couple of new like ledges. Like, so this guy here, it's very chunk kind of cut as you go around it. Whereas the old battery grip is just one big radius around, like. I feel like also those turns that the battery grip takes as it cuts around, it seems like they line up with the joints in my finger, which is good. All right, let's feel the buttons. Okay, there's the joystick. Very easy to find. The older camera battery grip has just the 4-way selector, and it's hardly useful for anything. I mean, I guess in the old days that's how you changed your autofocus selection point, but it's not useful. And also, like, if you're navigating the menu, you're going to want to turn it to landscape anyways, so it's not really good for navigating the menu. Okay, so there's the autofocus button. Let's see here. So the shutter button falls right in the right spot. Actually, let's see how. Okay, remember in the last video I did, I kind of talked about how my finger was overshooting the shutter button. Now that I have the battery grip on here, it feels like it's because my hand's a little bit lower on the camera. Now the shutter button is kind of falling right on the pad of my index finger right there. So let's see here. The rear selection dial is a lot easier to get to compared to the upper one. And I gotta say though too, like with the older Em1 Mk3 and the Em1 Mk2, this rear command dial, I think it's easier to get to, but at the same time, like, I know I bump this thing a lot. That may be why they've kind of hidden that thing away a little bit more. Where's there's the command dial. The rear one. Yeah, the front command dial on the battery grip, the new one, the HLD-2, is much easier to use than the old one. So, there, I think that's about it. All right, now I want to look at something here. I want to do the autofocus points. Wow. Okay, the new joystick, they must have a new mechanism in here, because the new joystick, both from the battery grip and the body, is way more responsive. I mean, I feel like I could draw things with this. Like the old one, it's good and everything. I don't know, it doesn't quite feel as refined. Of course, we also have a ton more slow spots locations that we can set that thing to. It's also a lot smaller. I mean, like there, you can see that's the smallest one you can use. Well, actually, no, there's one smaller. But we're in video mode with this guy. Let's go to photos. That's the smallest one right there. Where's this guy over here? Yeah, it's just a ton more locations you can select. So yeah, the old battery grip, you did have 2 programmable buttons. I don't know if I'm gonna miss them, because the new battery grip, you only have 1 button, and that's the autofocus button, and that's it. I mean, we've got these 2 buttons up top now, which were not in the old battery grip. So really, we do have this. Actually, we have one more button in the new battery grip. But I know these 2 rear function buttons that you could customize, I don't think I have ever once used them. Not once. So here's why I like using battery grips. I mean, in the old days, it was because it was a nice heat sink. It kind of pulled heat out of the camera. Also, it gave me this DC-9 port right here to power the camera. The new camera, we can do this entirely through USB, and it can now run while charging, which is very cool. That was something that, like, with the old Em1 Mk3, I was like, oh, why did the engineers who designed the motherboard do a stupid thing like that? And I think it was Panasonic's fault, because I believe Panasonic did the motherboard and the older camera. The newer one, I bet you it's going to somebody else. The Olympus Systems is probably either making their own or they've got a new supplier. And something else I kind of noticed that, let's see here, the newer camera's kind of a bit noisier. Like, I don't know, I can feel there's more of a hiss, or almost like a mini hard drive is running in here. I don't think it'll be picked up by microphones though. It's like, if I'm out here, I can't hear it at all. I have to be like right up to it. One nice thing about the plastic is it's not as cold in the winter. We are well into spring here, and I have snow in the forecast. And it snowed last night. It was completely white out here last night. I went from wearing a t-shirt to a jacket. I know this line right here in the body has been something that everyone's kind of like talked about, like what the heck is it for? And it goes down into the battery grip, but then it's interrupted by the door. So I'm really not sure what that is for. I know when you're holding the camera correctly versus, this is the way idiots hold cameras, okay? You're supposed to hold it like this. And it does give, let's see here. Yeah, it does allow you to kind of get closer to the lens with the web of your hand. So that could be why that's there. But for the most part, I would say it's probably just a decoration. So, all right, let's go take some pictures. I've got the 60mm macro lens here. I want to see how this baby focus stacks, and I'm sure it's quite a bit faster. I love doing macro stuff. Last night, I was like, I'm going to take the very first photo with this thing. It's going to be of my kids. I took a picture. No card. I forgot to put a card in the camera. We have one now. All right, let's go have some fun. So this is my initial start with the camera. You know, there are supposed to be gapping from the clouds tonight, so I am going to see if I can take some pictures tonight. But other than that, hey guys, stay tuned.